Well, first of all, I don't think it is conspiratorial. I think it's a basic principle of journalism to follow the money. And we have conflict of interest rules precisely because people are human. And when you can benefit personally, economically, from policies that you are advancing, then those policies are called into question, and the questions are raised. So that's why we have this legal architecture to prevent obvious conflicts of interest. And the Bush administration, key figures in the Bush administration have just shown enormous defiance in the face of those rules and really twisted the White House lawyers up in knots trying to rationalize holding on to these stocks. But to me, it's a broader question about the economy, what I call the disaster capitalism complex, and the fact that I don't believe, well, I think that there's a particular way of thinking that comes with being in the business of disaster, being, and I'm not talking about just any old economic holdings, right? I'm talking about those particular economic holdings that increase, whose fortunes increase when things go bad, right? So oil and gas, the bad things happen, the price of oil goes up. This we know, right? Whether it is a hurricane, whether it's a war, whether it's a fear of a war, whether it's Chavez and Ahmadinejad hugging, whatever it is, bad, price of oil goes up, right? And the same is true for defense stocks, the same is true of Homeland Security stocks, the same is true for drug companies that are in the business of pandemics. So this is how I'm defining broadly the disaster capitalism complex, which is bigger than the military-industrial complex. The reason why Eisenhower gave that famous warning in his last presidential address about the danger of the military-industrial complex is precisely because this is an industry that has an economic incentive for war and instability. So I think that there is something really significant that we need to talk about that the Bush administration, the people who've been running the government in Washington, but also the occupation of Iraq, are card-carrying members of the disaster capitalism complex. I realize I don't think it sounds conspiratorial. I think it sounds obvious, right? I'm in fact embarrassed to be pointing this out because it's such an obvious point, but it amazes me that people don't talk about it all the time. That Dick Cheney was in the business of privatizing the U.S. military before he went into office. That Donald Rumsfeld was in the business of profiting from pandemics before he went into office. That Bush was in the oil and gas business before he came into office. That his father was connected to the Carlyle Group, which is a major weapons dealer. That Paul Bremer, the chief envoy in Iraq who laid the economic framework for the occupation, that 1 month after September 11th, he launched a Homeland Security company to advise other corporations on how they could protect themselves in this new era. That Rudy Giuliani did the same thing 3 months later. So these are all people who see profit directly from terrorism, natural disasters, and pandemics. What is their economic incentive to get us off this disastrous course? I mean, we need political leaders who think disasters are bad. That to me is a good starting premise.